What's up, guys? I'm JFleezy, and we are back with another episode of Tri-State Wrestling Federation. In this episode, we will be completing the entire run-in to Holiday's Havok. So, get into the first Hard Knocks then. Alright, here we go. Hard Knocks number 1 of the episode. Oh boy, we have Dick Knox open in the ring. Absolutely fuming. Going off on Big Vito LaGrasso, saying he should fire his ass for not showing up last month and all this crazy talk. Then Big Vito comes out to the ring. I said he should fire his ass and strip him of his title. Either or. Or both, you know. Then Big Vito comes to the ring, basically saying you'd have to pull this title off my cold dead body, you know. But Vito ain't backing down from nothing. And these two are all up in each other's faces, screaming, yelling, shoving, before Fletcher Knox finally comes in and breaks it up, pulls Dick Knox back like, we gotta chill, brother. We gotta chill. This is an employee. Technically an employee. Well, I guess independent contractor. Hey, independent contractor. Maybe we can get away with beating the crap out of our talent then. Anyways, 54 segment rating. Very good stuff. 57 on the first. 47 I thought would be actually possibly lower, so that's pretty good. I'm very happy with that. We then have a Brittany Brown, Debbie Malenko match. You know, decent little opener. Debony is her new name, apparently. Finishing off Brittany Brown with the Fujiwara armbar, which I think we have 2 or 3 people with that same finish, which is crazy. We then have Fletcher Knox and Glenn Gilberti tagging to face the Law, Fletcher Knox submitting Brian Law with a Knox lock in 10 minutes. First match with Fletcher Knox and Glenn Gilberti. First win. Why do I struggle with his last name? Glenn was really off his game, unfortunate. We then have Glenn Gilberti cutting a nice little promo, or not a nice little promo, to be honest with you. That's pretty poor for Glenn. I guess Fletcher Knox dragged it down. Talk about how they're the new tag team in town. They're coming for the titles. And himself labels them Heart and Hustle. Who's Heart, who's Hustle? I don't know. You decide. I think that's obvious. 30 segment rating. We then have Rey Mysterio and Kid Cash in an absolutely cracking match. 56 segment rating. We have Kid Cash defeat Rey Mysterio after a distraction from Doomsday with the Moneymaker. I don't know if I ever realized that was his finish. 66 from Rey Mysterio. 49 Kid Cash. Kid Cash is quite good. Beautiful segment. We then have Jeff Jarrett take on Leif Cassidy, where Leif Cassidy defeats Jeff Jarrett in 10 minutes with the snowplow after a botched interference from Terra Rising. 55 from Jeff Jarrett, 46 from Leif Cassidy, who has been kind of continuously disappointing. That's why the push of him's kind of slowed down. He hasn't been where I thought he would be, honestly. But 44 segment rating, decent little match. We then have a heated argument between Jeff Jarrett and Terra Rising in the ring before Jeff Jarrett just angrily walks off down the ramp. Segment rating 33. Okay, that's okay. I wasn't expecting anything big from that. We then have Big Vito making his entrance with random guy we've never seen before. Who is this guy? 42 segment rating. Shockingly good, actually. Vic Venom worked the crowd well. Shocker. We then have in our promised main event, and damn was it a good one. Number 1 contender, the Lightning Kid, taking on Big Vito LaGrasso for the TSWF Championship, but falls just short in 17 minutes, being pinned with Code of Silence. Vito making defense number 15 of the TSWF Championship. The Lightning Kid doing a 61. Big Vito LaGrasso doing a 55. Fantastic match. Few angry people behind the scenes, but you know, it is what it is. It's actually, there's a lot of heat before the show and during the show. There's a lot of people angry with the results of the matches as well. Whatever. They can suck it. 62 segment rating in the main event. We then have The Stranger grab a mic after the match, standing in the ring with Big Vito LaGrasso, saying he doesn't like the way his client, Big Vito LaGrasso, has been treated around here in recent months. The biases of Dick Knox. They need to stop, or he may have to get lawyers involved, and blah blah blah. Bunch of nonsense. 42 segment rating. Quite good actually, because he's got zero popularity. Pretty damn good. Vito again was poor. He was poor in every angle, I think. Oh man. Guess that's why we have a manager now. Alright. Huge show, honestly. Overall rating of a 61. What is our best show? That's gotta be close. Overall rating of a 61. We have a controversial debut, to say the least. I spelled that wrong, didn't I? I did spell that as typo. Whatever, that's bugging me. Ignore that. There's no typos. Don't even look. We had a lot of heat pre-show. We have decent amount of heat on the show. But it ended up being a great show. Very controversial debut. I'm very happy with this. I'll catch you at the next one. Here we are, Hard Knocks number 2 of the episode. We have Dick Knox in the ring. Steaming as ever. Red-faced as ever. But he announces the main event tonight will be Big Vito defending his title against Rey Mysterio, Rob Van Dam, and Fletcher Knox. Hell of an open. Hot crowd. They loved it. Segment rating 57, and boy, it's going to be a hell of a main event. By the way, that last Hard Knocks was indeed our best show ever, and the main event was also our best match ever. So, hell of a show that was. We then have JT Smith and Brian Armstrong opening the show with JT Smith beating him in 9 minutes with a moonsault. Disappointing match. 26 is crazy. Crazy at this point. We then have Vic Venom in Dick Knox's office, I guess, trying to talk some sense into him. This bias has to stop. This vendetta needs to end against his client and friend, Big Vito LaGrasso. 39 segment rating, not bad. Or when improvising, he'll get better. We then have an exceptional match where Leif Cassidy beats Larry Sharp in 7.5 minutes with a snowplow. 54 from Leif Cassidy. That's more like it. That's what I'm looking to see. There's confidence. That makes me feel better. Still only a 46, though, for the segment rating. Kinda crazy. We then have the featured attractions finally back after what was it, 2 or 3 month layoff after Doomsday absolutely decimated them. So segment rating of 50, the crowd is clearly happy to see them, Stevie Richards and Sean Morley back, and they're clearly happy and fired up to be back as they go right at verbally eviscerating Doomsday and Kid Cash. 50 segment rating. These guys are very good on the mic. We then have Jacob and Cash, which I didn't know was right after that. That's unfortunate. There was supposed to be something in between. We have Jacob and Cash defeating Tommy Dreamer and Taz rather easily, defending their titles. For the 4th time, 47 segment rating. Kid Cash crushed it. Doomsday was far better than Dreamer, almost as good as Taz. Quite good for Doomsday. Very good for the monster. If he can work that well, we're in good shape. We then have Sean Morley and Stevie Richards coming out with, I don't know, kendo stick, whatever weapon you want, and attacking them from behind. Doing whatever they can. I mean, Kid Cash goes down pretty easily, but doing whatever they can to get the monster off his feet before finally having to retreat. Segment rating of 39. Not as good as I hoped, but it's fine, and it's a decent segment. Very hot crowd. Crowd loved it, so we're good. Good to have Stevie Richards and Sean Morley back, too. We then have wow, disappointing. We then have Chris Candido take on the Lightning Kid, with the Lightning Kid defeating Chris Candido in 10 minutes with a nice little super kick, back when that used to be a finish instead of a spot. 46. Wow. We then have Glenn Gilberty passing backstage, or passing the featured attraction backstage, just saying, that wasn't very smart. Segment rating of a 27. Pretty well done from Glenn. We then, oh wow, that's pretty bad actually. We then have in our main event, Big Vito LaGrasso defeating Fletcher Knox, Rob Van Dam, and Rey Mysterio off of an interference by Vic Venom. Defense number 16 of the TSWF Championship. Segment rating of a 49. I thought that might get a little bit better of a rating. Rob Van Dam disappointed heavily though. Heavily. I expected Fletcher Knox to be around 30-ish, high 20s, but RVD, that's really bad. But decent enough main event. We then have Dick Knox making his way to the ring with haste and just attacking Big Vito. Fist flying, absolute bombs being thrown. The show ends hot. 44 segment rating, very good stuff. Overall rating of a 50, not quite the 61 of the last show, but I still think quite a good show. Good things happening. Storylines moving ahead very well. Great. I'm very happy to have the featured attractions back. I honestly love that tag team. I will catch you at the next show. Alright, couple things. For one, Steve Austin just re-signed a 3-year deal with WCW, so he's going to be there until around 96. So that's very interesting. That's a little world update. But another thing, we failed one of our goals, and you can see at the top now, Dick Knox rates our performance as abysmal. Even though we passed every other goal, we failed that one major goal, and now our performance is at abysmal. That's worrying. Very worrying. If I got fired, I wouldn't really know what to do here, because I'm pretty committed to this company. So let's get to the show and not get fired then. Alright, here we go. Final Hard Knocks before Holidays Havoc. Yeah, Holidays Havoc. Did I say that wrong? We have Dick Knox in the ring announcing the main event of him versus Chris Candido, as well as challenging, more like telling Big Vito LaGrasso he will be his opponent at Holidays Havoc in a cage. No interference, no getting out. A fight until one of them doesn't get back up. If he does not take this match, he will be stripped of his title. But because he's a fair man, if Dick Knox loses, he will never be able to challenge Vito LaGrasso again as long as he is champion. Wow, I just looked at the segment rating. A 70 segment rating. Wow. Dick Knox on absolute flames in the 7-minute promo. Wow. Well, yeah, well, there's a crowd killer. We then have Hart and Hustle take on Saturn Canyon for a 25 segment rating, with Glenn Gilberty pinning Chris Canyon with a stunner. Chris Canyon is pits, huh? Absolutely terrible. When the best one in the match is almost Fletcher Knox, you're probably in trouble. But, job done. That's technically still a good match for us, with our popularity being 16. We then have Doomsday just obliterating Bad Crew number 2. Does a 35, Bad Crew number 2 does a 44. Not bad, actually. Finishing him with a choke slam in 8 minutes, and really that 8 minutes was him toying with him. He really could have finished him in about 30 seconds. 32 segment rating, very good stuff. We then have Doomsday just losing his mind on Bad Crew number 2. Still continuing to beat the hell out of him. Kid Cash then coming in, trying to get him out. Finally gets him out of the ring before Doomsday almost attacks a fan. Kid Cash just getting in the way to intervene before finally getting them to go back up the ramp and backstage. 36 segment rating. Doomsday's losing his mind a little bit. Kid Clash clearly has no control. Wow. 36 isn't too bad. We then have... Oh, jeez. We then have Rey Mysterio take on Larry Sharp, who is absolutely sandbagging, and Rey Mysterio still pulls a 42 out of him, which is hilarious. Rey Mysterio defeating Larry Sharp in 8 minutes 50 seconds. Screw Larry Sharp. Unprofessional piece of trash. Get out of my company. Segment rating 42. Good stuff, Ray. We then have the featured attractions taking on the Blue Bloods in, quite frankly, a heavyweight match. Or, I guess, sure, a hell of a match for the tag team division, with Stevie Richards pinning Terrorizing with a Stevie kick. Jeff Jarrett, absolute animal nowadays, doing really well. Sean Morley and Stevie Richards starting to get up there. Terrorizing's even getting better. Segment rating 48, great stuff from the boys. We then have Jeff Jarrett and Terrorizing post-match arguing until it finally breaks out into a brawl. 41 segment rating. Pretty good stuff. I mean, Jeff Jarrett is on fire right now. On absolute fire. We then have Leaf Cassidy take on Rob Van Dam, where Leaf Cassidy gets another win, defeating Rob Van Dam in 11.5 minutes with a snowplow. A 58 in-ring performance from him. A 40 from Rob Van Dam. A 47 segment rating. Very, very good match right there. Leaf Cassidy starting to pick up that momentum again. Oh, jeez. In another exceptional match, we have the Lightning Kid defeat Chris Jericho in 10 minutes with a super kick. 52 segment rating, 56 from Lightning Kid, 52 from Chris Jericho, and it's good to have him back from tour. Jeez. Chris Jericho, man. Got it. He's got that something special in him on here. You don't know a TEW sometimes. He's got it. We then have Doomsday obliterating Sean Morley and Stevie Richards backstage. And you have Glenn Gilberti in the background watching this. And as he's just tearing them apart, Glenn just says, "I told you that was a bad idea." Before Doomsday looks up and starts walking towards him, and Glenn Gilberti takes off running the other way. 38 segment rating. Good stuff. Gilberti has a comedy gimmick, so he was suited for this. Yeah, he's pretty suited for this. We then have, in our main event, Dick Knox, who has not worked in a few months, I don't think, defeat Chris Candido in 10 minutes with the knocks out. 57 from Dick Knox, 44 from Chris Candido, a very good main event. And then we have the contract signing for the cage match at Holiday's Havok. 47 segment rating. Good stuff from everybody. It sure isn't the 70 of the opener, is it? But very good stuff. This feud, man, it's been running for a year and a half, and it is still hot as ever. Hot as ever. A 59 overall show rating, tied for second best show in company history. 143 people seen it. We're really sticking around that same number. It's a little frustrating, but great show. Happy to see it. I'll catch you on the office. Alright, we are back in the office. Those were 3 fantastic shows, but let's talk for a minute. So, we had a talk a while back about TV and how we needed to get to Tiny. Well, we got to Tiny, so we now are at 17 popularity. The problem is, when we go to the Empire Sports Network, we need our production value to be a minimum of semi-pro and our broadcast quality as hired pro. Now, we were level 1 everything. Now, I've already moved a couple things up before I realized, or one thing, just the music maybe, up before I realized how far I had to go. So, when we go to production, we're already at semi-pro broadcast. That has to go hired pro, so that has to go up another level, which would be 2,500 per show. And then this would have to go up 2 levels, because it'd be small. Is that right? No, not this. Sorry, it's production value. This would have to go up 2 levels and be amateur, and then semi-pro question mark? Yeah. So production value would have to go up 2 levels. Broadcast quality would have to go up another level. I don't think we can afford that. We're already 4,700 in debt. I did move ticket prices back up to normal now, because we have gotten up to 17 popularity where I wanted to get. I wanted to get our popularity up quicker. But now we kind of need money coming in, and this, I mean, do we full commit to TV? And I just don't think we're going to make that much money. As of right now, we're going to be paying $2,500 per night on music and $500 per night on broadcast quality. There's the word. I already think that's too much. So maybe we do send it. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts? What should I do? Because I have no idea what to expect from this TV network. I'm expecting very little money, a terrible slot, and very little viewers. So I don't expect that we would make that money back. This is this television, right? It's not pay-per-view. Yeah, cable commercial. I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of stuck on what to do there. I mean, we could negotiate it now, because 7 days from now is Holidays Havok, so technically that could be our first event. That'd be one of our biggest events a year. I mean, you know, it's the second biggest event of the year for us. And it'd be our first event on our new television broadcast. But I don't know. I need your guys' thoughts, because I have no idea what the money looks like from something like the Empire Sports Network. So, please, you have any thoughts, you have any experience, leave that down below. Other than that, if you liked what you watched today, which is quite frankly 3 really good shows, please leave a like, as that helps grow this channel, grow this series, which I love this series. This is one of the most fun, if not the most fun, TEW save I've ever done, and I'm not usually a real world mod person. So please leave that like. Again, comment any advice on this TV thing, because I have no idea what to do. We're already in debt. I'm already at abysmal performance because of failing the financial goal in the first place. So that's worrying. And if you don't want to miss any future episodes at TSWF, possibly Wrestling Empire, Tennis Manager, or RCW, or whatever I'm doing at the time, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, and you will be notified every time we post an episode here. I appreciate you guys for watching. I hope you all have a great rest of your days.
Battle lines in the horizon dawn. Every day's a clash, relentless on. No medals, just scars and pain. Marching through doubt and rain.